Can you really change your personality? Science says yes. You are not who you think you are. That voice in your head, the one that says this is just how I am, is lying to you. For years they told us personality was set in stone, that by 30 the concrete had dried, that the quiet would always be quiet, the anxious would always worry, the impatient would never learn to wait. But neuroscience has uncovered a radical truth. Your personality isn't a life sentence. It's a living blueprint. One you can redraw at any time. The question isn't, can you change? It's how badly do you want to? Think about the last time you held yourself back. The opportunity you didn't take, because that's not me. The relationship you sabotaged, because I've always been this way. The version of yourself you buried because change felt impossible. That wasn't honesty. That was surrender. And every time you repeat, this is just who I am, you reinforce neural pathways that keep you trapped in yesterday's version of yourself. But here's what they don't tell you. The brain doesn't care about your age. It cares about repetition. And if you're brave enough to repeat something new, something bold, something uncomfortable, something different, your mind has no choice but to rewire itself around it. For decades, psychology textbooks preached that personality stabilized by adulthood. Then, fMRI machines revealed the shocking truth. Every thought you think, every habit you repeat, every fear you face or avoid, it all physically reshapes your brain. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Meaning the stories you tell about yourself aren't just stories, they're instructions. Tell yourself you're shy long enough, and the brain carves pathways to make sure you stay that way. But start acting like someone who speaks up, even when it terrifies you. And something extraordinary happens. The brain begins demolishing old roads and building new ones. Change doesn't happen in declarations. It happens in decisions. Small, repeated, inconvenient decisions that feel wrong before they feel right. Want to become more disciplined? Stop waiting to feel motivated. Start acting like the kind of person who does it anyway. Want to be more confident? Stop analyzing your insecurities. Start imitating the posture, speech patterns, and habits of those who carry themselves with assurance, even if it feels like a costume at first. Because here's the secret no one admits. Faking it isn't dishonesty, it's practice. And practice, relentless, uncomfortable, deliberate practice, is how neurons learn. There will be moments when the old you fights back, when social anxiety screams to leave the party early, when procrastination whispers just one more day, when self-doubt insists you're not cut out for this. This isn't failure. This is the work. Every time you stay when you want to run, every time you speak when you'd rather hide, every time you choose action over analysis, you're not just behaving differently, you're becoming different. Imagine waking up a year from now, but not as the same person with the same limits, as someone who took control of their own rewiring, who stopped waiting to feel ready and started acting ready, who understood that personality isn't discovered, it's built, day by day, decision by decision, moment by moment. The science is clear. The tools exist. The only variable left is you. Will you keep believing you're stuck with what you've always been? Or will you start building what you could become? The most dangerous lie you've ever been told is that you are finished. That the way you hesitate before speaking, the way you second-guess your decisions, the way you shrink from confrontation, these are permanent stains on your character. But look closer. That nervousness, it's just a habit. That self-doubt, merely a well-worn path in your mind. That temper that flares too fast, nothing but an automatic response you've practiced for years. The terrifying and liberating truth, you are not a statue, you are clay, and the hands that shape you, they're your own. Every interaction is an experiment. Every conversation is clinical research. When you force yourself to hold eye contact 1 second longer than comfortable, that's data. When you bite back a sarcastic remark and choose patience instead, that's a breakthrough. When you walk into a room and decide to be the first to speak, that's peer-reviewed evidence of change. This isn't abstract theory. This is hard science happening in real time, with your nervous system as the petri dish and your choices as the independent variable. There will come a moment, probably tonight, maybe tomorrow, when your old self will stage a mutiny. It will whisper that this new version isn't really you, that you're being fake. That authenticity means staying exactly as you've always been. But here's what that voice won't tell you. The person you are today was never the real you, just the most practiced version. The authentic self isn't found in comfort. It's forged in the friction between who you were and who you decide to become. The catalysts. 5 forces that accelerate change. 1. The mirror of crisis. Nothing rewires personality faster than necessity. When survival demands you change, change happens at light speed. 2. The gravity of new environments. Step into a room where no one knows your old stories, and watch how quickly new behaviors emerge. 3. The alchemy of language. The words you use about yourself aren't descriptions, they're programming. Switch the code, change the output. 4. The crucible of public commitment. Tell enough people you're becoming X, and soon you'll have no choice but to follow through. 5. The time-lapse effect. Document your progress weekly. What feels imperceptible day to day becomes undeniable month to month. The paradox. Becoming more you by being less you. The greatest irony of personality change? The more you release the need to be consistent, the more you discover who you could be. That introvert who learns to turn on charisma when needed isn't being fake, they're becoming multilingual. The hothead who cultivates patience isn't betraying themselves, they're expanding their emotional range. The people who change most radically aren't losing themselves. They're finally meeting the versions they were always meant to house. One morning, maybe 6 months from now, maybe 3 years, you'll do something extraordinary without thinking. You'll command a room without rehearsing. You'll navigate conflict without crumbling. You'll take risks without paralyzing doubt. And in that moment, you'll realize the act has become instinct. The mask has fused with flesh. The performance is now the person. They'll tell you to accept yourself. But what if the highest form of self-acceptance is refusing to stay where you are? What if self-love means believing in your capacity to outgrow your own limitations? The science is clear. The path is proven. The only question left is, how many versions of yourself will you dare to live before you die? The personality you have today is just the starting point, not the finish line. The person you're meant to be isn't found, they're made. Now, go make them. Begin. Again.